Welcome, mi gente, to another edition of the Latino Slant this week. Every Monday here at 12:30 Pacific Time. Wow, we have the Sasha Calle Feed Me Jaina battle. We got Burn It Down. We're going to break it down. That novel. Oh my. And then some more spoilers. Yes, some more spoilers of The Flash this week on the Latino Slant. Pues vámonos. Paulie here on the Latino Slant. It's Monday. Oh, wow. It's a Monday, and it's been a weekend of crazy entertainment, news, and, mamadas as well. But we here on the Slant are going to do our best to maneuver through all of this. My name is Paulie. If this is your first time hanging out with us today, why don't you, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, comment, and say hello. Say hello. Let me know what's up. We have members in the channel already that are live in the chat, people hanging out with us. I want to thank the good people at Midnight's Edge, Tom Andre, Mexican Iron Man, and Film Threat, Chris Gore. Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff to cover. So I want to thank almost the plus 100 new subscribers in the last day or so, because they've been checking out our Flash spoiler review. And later on, we will be doing a second edition live today of more spoiler review, more spoilers, because you guys came up with some great questions in the comment section. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't bring that up. Oh yeah, I didn't bring that up. So I thought it would be important to bring it up, to have a lot of fun. Okay, before we begin our first segment of the day, let's say hello to you guys. And I want you guys to make sure you hit the like button. I've also have shared this on Instagram and Twitter. If you can, retweet, all that good stuff. But first, let me say hello to Fletcher, my dude, working in the back, helping produce this show. Gracias. Black Saber, Lord Thoth, Mojin, just another red shirt. What up? What up? Good to see you, man. Wex Wuto, Calle versus Calle. This is like the Parent Trap. We're having a little fun with the Feed Me Jaina today, with the battle. Shanatsky, they hate all pretty women. That's Hollywood. And then earlier on, Krusty Moco. What up? ¿Qué pasó? Oh, look at Emily's here. Hello, Emily. Hello, dear. Good to see you here. Good to have you here. How's everyone's Monday going so far? It's the beginning of the week, and what we do here, we're going to be live every Monday at 12:30 Pacific. We're going to talk about obviously the box office actuals, talk about what's coming up with the big movie release this week, any Latino connections to it. We do that every week. Also, too, set in the week, what are you going to see, Paulie? I have a really cool invite to see a big movie early on, like weeks before it's going to be released. So we'll talk about that as well. Okay, let us start off with our Feed Me Jaina battle for this week. And coming through always like a rocket, my dude. Let me see, can we get this up? Yeah, here we go. It's Sasha Calle versus DC Sasha Calle, because yes, like the film that deals with different multiverses, this film also deals with two different types of Sasha Calle. So I said to Fletcher Williams, "Hey man, let's do it where the same Jaina battles herself in the Flash Multiverse Edition. Sasha Calle versus DC Sasha Calle. What's up, Fletcher?" I don't know if he can hear us. He's on mute, but that's all right. All
Yep.
right. Well, okay. All right. Are you ready for this battle?
I don't know if anybody's ready for this battle, but we're gonna do it anyway.
I wanted to be a little funny, but also point out how this gorgeous lady looked before and how this gorgeous lady looks for the film as Supergirl. Here we go. Can you hear this music?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So obviously this is Sasha Calle, short hair. For Kara, Supergirl in the Flash, she's 5'6". I definitely thought she was a lot taller. Definitely
Yeah, I
thought
think
she was a
it's
lot.
the movie magic, and she's definitely has the Ezra Miller cut. You know,
Mm-mm. No, you didn't.
you know those memes when you're going to the border.
What?
You know
When
those
it
memes
what?
when you're going to the barber and they're like, "Give me this kind of cut," and the barber's like, "Say no more," and they give him a goofy cut. It's like she went over there and it's like, "Give me the Ezra Miller cut."
Well, there's a shot that you got here. Here, let's play a little bit more. And what do you guys think of this in general? Women with short hair. You know, she's of Colombian descent. Yes.
Yeah, her mother's Colombian. Um,
So her breakthrough was in Young and the Restless. I think she got an Emmy nomination for her performance. So the woman can act, and I will tell you, in the little that she's in this movie, she's really good. It's just that they cut a lot out of her in this film. Um, so, but she's got presence. She's when she does those interviews, she's incredibly sweet, and she's a
yeah,
musician as well. So
she's got.
go ahead. Did we lose you? Yeah, I think we lost him. We're gonna keep
No,
playing
no,
this.
yeah, she's been at it. Okay.
Yeah, I swear to God,
She's been at it for a while.
every time Fletcher joins us, is as if he just bought a new computer and a new microphone, and he's trying to figure. You're like the deleted scenes of our live streams here, like always trying to figure out that stuff. But he put together a badass video. Here we go. I mean, look at it. I love her. I love her joy. I love her exuberance. I I I I actually think this is actually pretty hot with the leather and the look. She's quite a musician. She's a singer songwriter. She's got a couple of songs. I was thinking about grabbing one, but I didn't have time. So she's got this whole persona. I think she's going with this look ever since she cut her hair for the movie. Okay, so
Yeah,
this
she
was the
seems to be doing that rocker style.
this was the first picture about 2 years ago, whenever it was, when she cut her hair, that she posted immediately on her Instagram. And
Right.
I know me and Mexican Iron were back and forth. I'm like, this looks beautiful. I have no problem with this. I love this look. Don't like some of the other looks she's done, but you know, uh, I think she could pull it off. I have no problem with it. But for voting purposes, guys, if you're voting, this is the DC Sasha Calle. This is the DC Sasha Calle. Flash Sasha Calle. And now she's going up against herself. Pre-DC Sasha Calle. I mean, there's no comparison.
Yeah, the multiverse has not been kind.
No, listen, I think. Listen. We'll go on. So undeniable beauty, grace, class. You know, in a lot of these shots, she's taken of herself on her Instagram. Beautiful lady. Listen, if I had to vote, obviously it's going to be for pre-DC. That's my vote. What do you guys think in the chat? Let's star some of the answers, guys. Fletcher. Oh wow. I mean, yeah, anything with fishnets. Show. Probably not a vegan in these pictures. Is she a vegan now? I don't get that.
I don't know. That was just speculation.
They're just being funny. You're just being funny. This I remember her doing a red carpet, and this was the outfit she wore on the red carpet, and she did some Spanish interviews a couple of years ago. Absolutely a darling.
Yeah. This is I got a few of the red carpet ones.
What's that?
I got a few of the red carpet ones.
Yeah. All right, vote now, Slantinos. Fletcher, what is your vote?
I think my vote was said a little bit ago when I said this is pre-vegan because it's.
All right, 37 votes. Pre-DC Sasha Calle, 78%. DC Supergirl, 21.
Right.
We got 30 people live in the chat. Only 20 likes. Come on, guys. Come on. Even if you're not going to say anything in the chat, you can at least do me the favor and smash the like. We'll have the winner later on in the show. I mean, I think we know who the winner is. Let's check out some of your comments. Julissa, women should have any length of hair. Of course. It's all taste. It's all, you know, how we view beauty, how we view taste. Looks like Miller's.
Well, like you said, when she first started the short hair, you know, it was banging. It's just she's doing other things, obviously. You know?
Yeah. John Weir Jr., what's up? Short hair for a woman is very dependent on head and facial shape. Absolutely. Well, I mean, you could say that for men too. Absolutely. Darth Plato's a member of the channel. She should be the boy wonder, not Supergirl. Oh man, come on, that's harsh. That's not right. Come on, that's not right. Eva Longoria already beat her. LOL. How is she back? What? I don't get that. Oh no, Sasha Calle never. Did we throw her in here? Has she participated? But
no.
And if she did and she lost, losers can participate until they win. She looks good there. DC Sasha Calle looks great. Pre-DC Calle is a smoke show. Very nicely said. Pre all day long. Okay, pre-DC is much better. I told you, Julissa. The pre-DC Sasha Calle is just a little too young looking for my taste, but definitely hot. Did we get an age? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she's I think she's like 27.
Yeah. So I mean, she's 27. So she probably got the role. She's what, 25 or whatever that is. I think she's lost her baby fat like on her cheeks, so to speak. You know, I could tell before she was a little more cachete. You know, that's a little more cachete for sure.
Yeah, because when you
Here,
see her, she's very like anorexic a little bit.
well, she was always pretty skinny, but this is definitely like, you know, she's lost the baby fat in her face. There you go.
Not only in her face.
All right, and we got a couple of super chats. So there you guys go ahead and vote now. Fletcher, thanks a lot, my dude. I'll see you in a little while.
Thank you.
All right, brother. So we thank you so much. We got a couple of super chats before we move on. Here we go. Colt Seaman for $4.99. Thank you so much. I just want to know, does the Flash fight any pregnant women in this fight? Any pregnant women in the movie? If not, I'll still watch it for Supergirl. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. You know, but I heard he's got a good chokehold, you know, technique. But no, he doesn't. Mo, what's up, Mo? $20. She's beautiful. You have to be beautiful to pull off short hair, but she looks better with long hair. I would have to agree, and I think she pulls it off. I think she pulls it off, and like I said, Mo, she looks really good in Supergirl. Sorry, in the Flash. They just cut her out a lot. But hope you're doing well, Mo, and thank you for the super chat. Colt comes back. She's muy caliente no matter what. And since there's two of them here, I'm gonna make my own Supergirl movie. Thank you, Colt. And thank you guys to those early super chats. This one is for you. Wow. Okay, so there you go. There's the battle. There's all that good stuff. If you're new to the channel, smash the like, say hello. And if you are a member of the channel, thank you guys so much. Members, there is a voting poll going on right now on our membership page as far as what next event you would like to see happen here on the slant. Don't forget to vote to that. Right now, feed me Jaina. That's my answer. Yes. Orale, yes. Okay. Box office is in. Let's hit that now. There's a couple of interesting angles I want to hit. Let's go to box office report really quickly just to look at pure numbers. I'm sure you've like already read this already, but this is the weekend box office, and I think this is probably the first time that we've had two tentpole films, big films, IPs, whatever you want to call them, battle each other out almost you know, on the same weekend. But Transformers came out new this week. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse second weekend out, and Transformers with less theaters, but more IMAXs, won by over 5 million with 60 million.5 as far as domestic. So that's pretty impressive because the actuals were kind of going all over the place with the Transformers. Some people were projecting it high, then they projected it low, then they put it back up, and now have exceeded even slightly. They've exceeded the high end of their expectations. So at the end of the day, I think this is incredibly great for box office as a whole. I think this is very, very positive. Regardless of what I think about those films, Transformers and Spider-Verse, what you're seeing too is big families going to see these films on repeat, and regardless of the leads. I would say more. I think both all have in common is that they have their branding first, and then who is playing them, who's the cast. Really, I think is maybe third down the line. I think it's branding. I think it's effects, and then who's playing them. But for the slants purposes, you could say like this is very interesting that these films with a diverse cast is doing well with a lot of audiences, which to me says uh, it says a lot of things. It says that if the film is great, people who are not a part of that culture don't care because the film is great. It's or serviceable or decent or above average. They'll go and see this film. I think there is a lot of clamor, and there's still clamor about the backlash with Little Mermaid, which is a decisively poor film. Just because it had a diverse cast, that really doesn't mean anything. And audiences of all walks have rejected it as a whole. There you see it down at number 3. It's making money, and it has made 228 million domestic, about to hit 400 million global. You got to understand, it is about halfway from making any money. It is at a huge loss. To make money, it needs to hit over 800. Projections were early on, this was going to crack $1 billion. Didn't happen. Guardians of the Galaxy, which even I'm surprised at, it's got a lot of staying power and looks like it's going to crack the 800 million globally altogether, which would mean it would cover its nut. It can start making a couple bucks, which is a big feat because like Mermaid and Guardians, they were just made for way too much money. Way too much money. So those are the actual numbers. What do you guys think? Have you guys seen any of these films that I have mentioned? Transformers, Spider-Man, The Little Mermaid, Guardians. And what did you think of them? Now, I want to go to... Those are the hard numbers. I want to go through some other numbers. So let us go to... Is it Deadline? Yeah, Deadline. Which I think is interesting as far as what they bring up in their coverage, right? What they bring up in their coverage. So this is interesting. I want to hit the demographic actuals in a minute. I want to come back up because I like how they broke a couple things down. And let's make this big just for you guys. This is in regards to Transformers, right? Screen Engine, Comic Score, post-track exits, moviegoers said that they went to see Rise of the Beast because it was part of a franchise they love, 42%. It looked fun and entertaining, 41%. Genre type of movie, 35%. And visual effects, 27%. Big family pool here as well, 23% adults and 9% kids attending. Movie-comers didn't come for the stars when it comes to these movies. Some 8% are attending for the actors, 7% for the actresses, according to post-track. So that really who the human actors are, no one cares about in these movies. And I have to agree. In fact, the Anthony Ramos character was for me was really good. The female character was absolutely dreadful. Dragged it down. The way it was written, just didn't need the character. Whatever she was doing could have been swallowed up in Ramos's character, etc., etc. Right? And I said that in my review. But this is really interesting. So it didn't matter that these guys aren't really stars yet. No one really knows Anthony Ramos as a movie star who can open a movie yet. I think he's very talented. That's a different story, right? But these audiences clearly don't care who the lead is. Even though they're actors of color, that's not why they're going to this film. That's not why they're going to this film. Like, again, I said, I really liked Ramos's work. I think he's a very talented man. The character was okay. Way more entertaining than the female character. Now, let's go back down to the demographic, the makeup of audiences. This is further evidence that with our argument, right, with our purpose of our channel, Latino audiences don't go to movies to see themselves. It's not. This is not like, you know. It's not theory. It's not theory. It's nice, right? But on a whole, this is why they're going, right? Branding, effects, entertainment. Entertainment's number 2. Branding here because it's Transformers. And we're using the example of the Transformers for now, but we can go back. Boom, boom, boom. But let's read this. Moviegoers gave Rise of the Beast an A- cinema score, the same grade as Bumblebee, and an upgrade from last night's B+. Audience exits from post-track are at an 83% positive and 68% recommended. Not bad. Kids under 12 were more excited about the sequel at 90% positive. Of course, this movie's for kids, guys. This movie's for kids. Here we go. A huge, diverse audience as expected at 30% Black, 28% Latino and Hispanic, a growth in these first 2 demos as Bumblebee drew 25% Latino, Hispanic, and 14% Black, 25% Caucasian, 17% Asian. Now, why does this number matter? Right? Here we go. Why does this number matter, guys? 28% of the audience was Latino or Hispanic, right? For this movie. We're 19% of the population in the US. This is in the US. This is not foreign market. I find this fascinating. Plus the reasons why they went to go see it. For the branding, for the Transformers, to be entertained, special effects. It had nothing to do with seeing themselves. It had to do with entertaining the whole family. Look at that. Rise of the Beast. And, you know, I gave it I believe I gave it an average 6.5. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. There were some great moments, but I totally get why this was a success. And it shows to me, as we document the year that is 2023, movie after movie, Avatar, Mario Brothers, Scream, Creed, this one, Rise of the Beast, Spider-Verse. Latinos show up in droves and they don't care about seeing themselves. They care about the brand. They care about being entertained, the visual effects. Is it for my whole family? Because, you know, Raza, man. Raza goes to the movies all together at the same time. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I think it's absolutely fascinating, and it is something that needs to be pointed out as a point of interest every time it comes up. Even Sisu, the movie Sisu, a foreign movie about what is he, Norwegian or Swiss? Finnish, a Finnish assassin, right? Benefited from the Latino audience going to see that. I think it was like 22% the Latino audience went to see that movie. There you go, man. There you go. So those are the box office actuals and kind of like a little bit of just some insight as to who's going, why they're going. And from the Latino Slant perspective, we are driving the box office week after week, month after month, and a big reason why Hollywood is having a kind of a bounce back post pandemic, post lockdown, where no one was going to the theaters. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. All right, who we got in the chat? We're gonna move on to our next segment. Before we do that, coming up later, we're gonna have Flash spoilers, but then we're going to give away a Flash poster. I got this poster at the screening. I'm not gonna keep it. I kept my Spider-Man one. I framed it, but it's a nice poster. So this is gonna be for you guys in the chat. The only caveat, and I love you guys, members cannot win this. That's messed up. I got you on other stuff. It's a Flash poster. We'll get you later on. Okay, here we go. Shelly Lee gifted 5 memberships. Hey, wow, thank you. Gracias. Here is for all the new members. Where are you at? Where's my video? Yeah, thank you, Shelly Lee, to the 5 new subscribers. We are going to have looks like we're going to have a membership stream where it's open topics, and we're going to do that on the membership private level, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So just going to be me and you guys talking whatever you guys want to talk about. Black Saber, Noah was a standout character on the human side for me. I absolutely love Noah Diaz, that character played by Anthony Ramos. You saw a guy who definitely had a lot of self-confidence problems, was a loner, but was trying to just protect his own, and then he became a team player by the end of the film. Great character. Ola Van Ness, they keep Guardians running it as it's the only money-making thing, and isn't. They be Marvel. Well, listen, man, they need to, at the end of the day, they need to have it on their ledger that they made a couple bucks. So that's why it's still in the theater. And from what I gathered, it still made money. Still made money. Transformers fine, 6.5 for me. I think I'm there. I actually think I like it a little bit more than when I saw it the other night. Yeah. The CG is way too expensive for what they paid compared to the quality in recent decent movies. Vorpal, you are not wrong. It's about Prime, voiced by Cullen. Well, he was great. No one's ever cut about the human characters. You can get emotional resonance from the robots like Wally, the actual Beast Wars series, and Netflix Transformers series. John Ware Jr., thank you, man. And Chris Gore. They go to see Italians like Super Mario. What's up, Chris Gore? We have a Chris Gore announcement later on in the stream. Very important, cool news, guys. Vorpal Snack, who's a member of the channel. I go for story. Never cared what color people were. Favorite actor is Denzel. That's a great favorite actor. To have as your favorite actor. Hank V. I needed a Pinto car transformer in this movie so I could Yeah. I gotta tell you, I liked Wheeljack. He was the Volkswagen Bug. I like that Volkswagen Bug. Shelly Lee. Looks like Latinos and Black folks really over-index. They do time after time. Christopher White. Ramos was great in Summer Days, Summer Nights. Oh, I don't know that film. I gotta check it out. All right. I gotta check it out. And yes, hail to Chris Gore. I just saw you there. Manolo. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Just want to make sure I'm saying hi to all my people before I move on. And we're getting a couple more people here in the chat. I love seeing that number go up. Where are we with the voting? We do have a female Hannah vote going. 52 votes. 79% pre-DC, Sasha Calle. Yeah. Yeah, you guys aren't wrong. You guys are not wrong. You know, some people that's just the taste that some people have, man. You know, it's all good. It's all good. The male lead, Rican from the Bronx. See him typecast in a big way. You know, he's talking about Manolo's talking about Anthony Ramos, I believe. Hear me out, and I've been talking about Ramos for a couple of years now on this channel. Anthony Ramos is a once in a generation talent. I want you to think of a man like Hugh Jackman. Anthony Ramos is that talented. Okay, he's a singer-songwriter. He's a Broadway star, right? Musicals. He is his acting range. He's played everything from the gay best friend in Stars Born with Lady Gaga to In the Heights to a very masculine, loving, brother in Transformers. The guy can do a lot, and he's got a different type of charm that has never been seen on film. It's very rare. I actually am looking forward to seeing a drama, like just a straight up drama from him. You know, because he's got such great instincts. He's definitely authentic in his performances. So I'm a big fan of his. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's thank again all you guys, all you subscribers, people that have tipped and all that good jazz. I'm gonna take a quick water break and we'll be right back. Arr.
Noise.
Arr.
Hey, do a mariachi one.
Oh my god.
Paulie here, back on the Latino Slant. Great to have all you guys live with us. Great to have all you guys on the replay watching us. A lot of new subscribers. So that's been a lot of fun the last 24, 48 hours. Seeing you guys react and comment on the Flash trailer. Right now, though, we're going to go to one of our main topics and later on bring you some more Flash news as well. But there is a book that came out that I have gotten, had the pleasure of getting, and it is called Hollywood, Burn It All Down, and it is a novel. I had initially heard it also from Cameron Pasha, who gave me some interesting insight as far as the writer and the point of view of this writer, in that this is one of Hollywood's own, as far as a liberal, calling out liberal Hollywood. And I have read it's a big read. It's about 400 pages. I've read about more than a third, but I was told to go to chapter 8. Before I go to chapter 8, I want to tell you guys that the writer, Mo Ryan, she did a great job in setting the scene of Hollywood and how its behavior has always been a part of Hollywood over the past 100 years. in as far as it's abusive behavior from the people from the top down to the bottom. So much abuse. In fact, one of the examples of an assistant is that they took their life to a creator that is very, very, very you've seen one of this creator's films. So it's pretty she doesn't hold back. And I like how she sets the scene of how Hollywood treats itself and how it continues to kind of just feed itself within, eat itself within, and spit people out once they're expendable. Well, they're all expendable as far as the lower tier. She also does a great job in talking about how writers, actors, and directors are consistently lowballed. Even the showrunners have gone broke just because of the new model of streaming now. And how just because you might be a showrunner of a TV show doesn't even mean that you can make a living doing this, because shows nowadays are completely different. So it was interesting how she set up the whole atmosphere in chapter 1. Chapter 8, I highlighted a lot. I want to get through them. I want to star some of your comments. I think that we should reply to, and we'll take it from there. So, chapter 8 is called. Let me make myself small for a little while. The myth of an egalitarian future. The IP strikes back. Whoa! What did I do? My bad, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. Big entertainment corporations that control. Let me make sure that it's still there. Yes, you can see it. Big entertainment corporations that control most of the budgets in Hollywood increasingly worship at the altar of existing intellectual property, and this trend has grown so overwhelming that it's choking off the supply of original visions, premises, and stories. It's also helping to make the realms of TV and film safer and more predictable, if not a little dull and lifeless at times. She says in quote, not a quote. What do you call those? I forgot. It's not in quote, but she says in Temple Films, to cite just one bummer, almost no one is allowed to be believably horny anymore, and that is not great. So I'm like, there's definitely a lot I don't agree with this writer in how she sets up arguments, and I was surprised also too, and you'll see in some of the what I've highlighted. But here that I didn't agree with, but here I'm definitely, this is nothing new for us. As far as our community, we've been complaining about this for years now. She cites as one of the best versions of an exception to the rule as far as a reboot or a remake is a version of Battlestar Galactica that came out in the aughts, was powerful, inspired, and galvanizing. That drama's creative team took a somewhat cheesy 70s TV show and spun it into a saga that was a career-driven, pulse-pounding, and politically aware. It's my favorite television program of all time, and I have often longed for real-world leaders more like Edward James Olmos's William Adama and Mary McDonnell's Laura Roslin. So say we all. So I definitely am in agreement with her there. To me, Battlestar was probably the greatest example of rebooting something where you race and gender swap characters from the past. It almost like we have never come close to being that great. But this is also before the IPs are just out of control. This got in right before that, right before all the control, that corporation control that she talks about. So I'm definitely all here. I can agree with that. Okay. I want to jump over to now Lucasfilm, and in a person that was hired and that she names Emma. Before Emma took the job, Lucasfilm job, a friend in Hollywood told her that Lucasfilm didn't particularly care about going over budget. Emma was gobsmacked by her friend's observation, given the penny pinching ways of her previous employers. But I saw it up close, and it doesn't matter how many mistakes you made or how incompetent some people are, she said. Our budget doubled, and I'm sure it went up after I left. I've never seen anything like that. Are you guys at all shocked to hear that a Lucasfilm TV or movie went over budget and they could care less? Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. Incredible. Incredible. All right, let's go back. But at Lucasfilm, it's hard not to figure out why the money might flow a little more freely. The company and its offshoot have had massive successes in the realms of film, television, theme parks, and merchandising, among other ventures, since the first Star Wars film came out nearly a half-century ago. And in Emma's view, the worldwide success of shows like The Mandalorian just reinforces the internal belief that the company can do no wrong. So you get one global success and you flub up all the other ones. But let's go on. Similar dynamic in play at Marvel, according to sources I've talked to. It's worth wondering how many decisions are made to create the best story and how many are driven by other considerations like servicing the next movie or TV series coming off the factory line. Again, we are not surprised by this. All the bigger channels that we love and hold dear to our hearts, Film Threat, Midnight's Edge, Doomcock, Nerdrotic, whatever that you really just are all in on, they've been talking about this. This is not new to us. When Marvel was smaller, this one's great. When Marvel was smaller, it was more harmonious. It was a more harmonious place to work. Eliza told me. I guess Eliza is an employee, okay? And a Marvel Insider. But now, she said with a sigh, it's not so nice. Kevin used to go around and be the biggest problem solver in the movies. There's just too much going on in every area now. That's why everything is wildly uneven. Once again, are you surprised to hear this? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, in this chapter 8, there's a lot to take away. I do feel though that in towing the liberal line, she misses the mark on a couple of some insights here that we're going to read, and it's a little unfortunate. But that being said, she's still taking the corporations, the studios to task, but misses absolutely here. Let's go right here. In 2022, I attended a convention panel in which Harold said, and Harold is with Lucasfilm. He was surprised by the racist backlash that Obi-Wan star Moses Ingram received when that show came out, given how John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran had been treated by a vicious subset of the Star Wars fandom years earlier. I wonder how anyone could be surprised by these depressingly regular developments. The Star Wars social accounts defended Ingram, but only after the torrent of abuse had begun. Lucasfilm, like other companies in similar positions, remain reactive and clumsy in its responses to these entirely predictable hate swarms. In any event, the ability to remain relatively or majorly unaware of the biases that affect certain segments of influential fandoms constitutes a rare privilege. Thus, that reaction from Harold, who appeared sincerely disturbed and upset about what Ingram endured, ended up serving just as one more indication of how cloistered and obvious some mindsets can be in a galaxy far, far away. It's really unfortunate that Ryan has taken this. Ryan has made this equation because she's half right. That the companies and the reaction and how they reacted to racist or just not positive reactions to their work is clumsy. They have been very clumsy. They have been very also in how I see it, very condescending to the fans. So you can call these fandoms whatever you want, but at the end of the day, they were the first fans. They are the true fans of these beloved these beloved IPs to begin with. So I don't doubt there was probably a few bozo racist comments here and there. That is par for the course whenever you're trying to introduce something. But I think what we can agree with was that Obi-Wan just wasn't good. In fact, it was really bad. And having seen the light on that show and Boba Fett, I can say that over time it's gotten worse for me. Just as far as these shows, they're just really bad. And when we go to anything that's a success that happens to have people of color in them, people don't care. They're entertained. They're wildly entertained. So it's really unfortunate that it's become par for the course that when you don't like that, when there's such a strong reaction, and you can say Little Mermaid to this, to what she's using as an example, two things that are in common. They're not good. They're just not good pieces. They're not good pieces. And that the company toe line is, well, they're all racist. You're missing the point. And it's unfortunate because I think Ryan really missed the point here on this, especially if you're going to connect fans. You might maybe want to talk to a few. It's pretty easy to interview a Doomcock, interview a Gary Beekler, interview a Chris Gore, and see what they think, see where they're coming from. Because you're putting to task your own Hollywood creative heads, but then saying, well, there's always that racist subsect that's conservative. All right, that's lazy. Okay, but let's go on. I got to tell you, this is fascinating, and she does. Maureen Ryan is a sci-fi fan, and it's really funny. This is in the same chapter. The next example she brings up of what she loves and what works, which is beloved by just those same Battlestar Galactica fans, by those same fans who you had called racist with other IPs. Here, we're talking about The Expanse. Sci-Fi's Expanse had Star Trek and CSI veteran Nareen Shankar, who is South Asian, and as its showrunner. And over 6 seasons, the array of people who got to be flawed, amazing, heroic, charismatic, and vicious was delightfully eclectic. So this was a huge success. I've never seen the show, right? I've never seen the show, but this was a huge success from what I hear. You got the people of color who were showrunners and writers and a diverse cast. It was incredibly, beloved by fans. So the thing is, when you do that lazy racist argument, it's too easy to poke holes, because there's example after example where, well, this same racist fan base loves something where people of color are in it. Battlestar Galactica, The Expanse, this week, right? Transformers, Spider-Verse. I mean, what are we talking about here, guys? What are we talking? And again, I really think that she wastes a lot of time with these examples. It doesn't do the overall burn it down Hollywood. But that's where she feels on these points. Now, here's where she gets back online with taking Hollywood to task. I think it's really good. The truth is, the tendency of commercial Hollywood frequently led to what professor and critic Kristen J. Warner calls plastic representation, in which characters on screen serve as visual identifiers for specific demographics in order to flatten the expectation to desire anything more, whereas actual progress would involve crafting a more weighted diversity, one generated by adding dimension and specificity to roles. So you there just kind of answered that for me. Is these represented characters in these IPs have been that have been created over the last 20 years in this book, 30 years from J.J. Abrams' Lost to up to now, have been at the most two-dimensional, one-dimensional stereotypes, have been thrown under the wood, have been cut up so badly because to begin with, they were done with half measures. When you do something that's half-ass, that's what you get. And those half-ass characters, always people of color. And this what she calls plastic Hollywood, plastic representation, that's the representation that happens the majority of the time. And I absolutely agree with this. And that is why fandoms 100% will reject right away what they see, because they can smell the fake plastic a mile away. And it has nothing to do with race. It seldom does. Like I said, there's always going to be those bozos. But they're like, well, this is a terrible attempt. XYZ. So again, it's interesting in this chapter 8 where she goes with, and I want to tell you that there are some great points that this writer does bring up, but here she kind of contradicts herself just as far as defining fandom. It's like, no, fandoms aren't racist by nature. They're disagreeing with Hollywood because the nature is you've gone against what they have loved in the past. For what? Plastic representation. They can smell that shit a mile away, guys. All right, this is a great topic. Anytime that someone tries to attempt and talk about Hollywood, and this woman, I have to tell you, covers a lot of ground in this book that's over 380 pages. I'm going to skip towards the end of chapter 8, where she says, I'm grateful that I came in the age of the 70s and 80s where whole segments of American culture were weird. I think she's a couple of years older than me, and I connect with what she's saying here. In regards to the 70s and 80s, everything felt new then. Nothing was a franchise. Well, that's not completely accurate. There are a few franchise-ish entities like Star Trek, which returned to TV screens and debuted in movie theaters in the 70s and 80s. The MASH TV show, which I adored, influenced me more than the excellent film of the same name. Despite the occasional spin-off or crossover, though, things were generally singular, one-offs. I remember seeing Star Wars in a theater with wooden floors when I was 11. We saw it in a second-run theater because the tickets were cheaper. I was completely enraptured. Time stopped for the duration of that time. And that feeling of total immersion is what I live for. But it didn't occur to me to want, let alone expect, more. Properties getting extended and rebranded and rebirthed and then extended again for a lot of my life. That was the exception, not the rule. Very nicely put. 100%. I love the way that she kind of painted her childhood and then, talked about the experiences of watching great stuff. That was me as well. So, let's go on because, this is fascinating when a book on something that you're very interested in can infuriate you and you can agree with at points at the same time. All right. All too often, Hollywood leans on plastic representation when a better solution would be handing the creative reins to people who don't have the blind spots, the cultural or experimental gasp that would lessen the work or suppress its potential depth, resonance, and impact. I mean, that's it right there. You're getting the best person for that job, and if they have that cultural insight that's authentic, a plus, but you can't be plastic about it. I can go on and on. All right. here's again where, and but I think it's good to just to see this writer's whole perspective. Here we go. Back to Star Wars. The executives in charge of these companies are typically aligned politically and economically with the American right. They simply have a commercial incentive to make things that the broadcast numbers of people want to see. Significant right-wing cultural backlashes have succeeded in narrowing Hollywood's imagination in the past. That is a quote from The Atlantic's Adam Sewer last year, 2022. Let's move on. Let's I don't see how being right wing has anything to do with, or politically or economically right wing has to do anything to do with commercial success. Succeeding in Hollywood's narrow imagination of the past. Wow. I think if anything, the Wocosos have taken over the imagination reigns, and this is what we've been getting. But let's go on, because it gets even better. It certainly looks like it has succeeded in our time. When Kelly Marie Tran and John Boyega, both exceptional actors, were put through hell by online hate mobs when they had prominent roles in Star Wars and subsequently saw their characters sidelined in The Rise of Skywalker, a flaccid, frustrating film that suffers from many problems, among them near absence. Like you guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley, you knew what to do with Adam Driver, Boyega said in 2020. You knew what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Tran, when it came to John Boyega, fuck all. So what do you want me to say? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take the deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody. I'm not exposing anything. So, yeah, Maureen, you're absolutely wrong. Your online hate mobs. Online hate mobs. Listen, I got a lot of people that were excited to see a stormtrooper who was going to be a Jedi. That's how they sold Finn to us, and that's how we got sold a lemon. And it had nothing to do with race. So, and the fact that they were cut down had nothing to do with your hate mob or your American right. It had to do with Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams. Let's be real. I mean, what are you talking about here? It's really unfortunate that you bought into that. In other parts of your book, you go after them, but then in here, you sell out almost like you didn't want to go all the way. So you can see my frustration with some of this book, some of this excerpts of this book. I almost didn't want to give it its own segment, but I went along with it because at the end of the day, like I said when we started this, it's a liberal, towing the liberal line, going after her own. So I don't know how much effect this will have. A lot of parts of this other books are it's pretty obvious what the agenda is with this book. So, like I said, I read about a little over a third of it. Some of it I was like, absolutely, yes. The abusive behavior and abusive powers, like the movie Swimming with the Sharks, is there, and that's what eats a lot of people up. That's why I have a lot of sympathy for writers, directors, and actors. But ultimately, this plastic representation has got nothing to do with its fans. It's got everything to do with the white liberals that run Hollywood and have absolutely no respect for people of color, writers, showrunners, producers, directors. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. All right, guys, 30 people live in the chat. We got some super chats and all that good stuff. We're going to pivot and get into some Flash, but welcome everyone. Let me see where we're at with the chat. 61 votes, 75% pre-DC Calle, 29% Supergirl Calle. Okay, I think when we know where we're going, where that's going at. I think when we know. 6 comes in for $2. I'm broke now, but I love you. Hi Fletcher. Hi 6. Love you too. Thank you for the super chat. Yay! We'll give this one for you. Let me see. Let's play something fun for you guys. Oldie but goodie. Yeah. Thank you, 6. Or thought, yeah, Battlestar was a good story, but still hated making Starbuck a woman. Hate? Really? I don't know, Lord. That's probably a thing where it was better than original Starbuck for me. Manolo, Battlestar reboot priority was the story, not the narrative. KK, hey, it's not my money. Yeah. John Ware. This is back when there were 0 interest rates. Shaking my head. The comic side has been beyond hopeless for a lot longer, though. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a great point to bring up. Previous writer's strike killed the BG show, sadly. I wish they would have done a Cylon War spinoff. Ooh, that would have been fun. That would have been fun. It sounds like she just had an axe to grind. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that was more of that in this book, unless some of the early excerpts that we got that were like, wow, she's really gonna burn it down. And I didn't get a lot of that. Race, color means nothing. As you say, Paulie, we enjoy great entertainment. End off. I mean, the contra over Obi-Wan is total bullcrap. Hey, what's up, Dominguez? And it's merely there to attack and gaslight the fandom. Zax, Disney doesn't respond to any of their other criticism, period. That tells you everything. Some fans were big fans of Deborah Chow until she screwed up Obi-Wan. Yeah, we were really praising Deborah Chow on her episodes of Mandalorian. And people just being honest. It's like you can like that director in one thing and just totally hate that other thing that they put out. Doesn't mean it has nothing to do with race. Chris Fight, first 3 seasons of The Expanse are peak sci-fi. I heard the last one kind of wasn't. Calling people racist, another version of othering, dehumanizing the adversary. It's easy to do, right? And you feel good about yourself. Krusty Moko, plastic representation, great descriptors. I do like that. Very liberal. Yeah, just a bit. And hey, it sucks because, like what someone said earlier, you dehumanize the argument, can't talk to you. Where did the author come up with that? Obviously, the author makes some claims about, some of the Latino, people working in the business that are half truths. So it's almost like she got some truth and then made up the rest. Like talking about how Robert Rodriguez has worked on both sides of the border. It's like, no, everything he's done is from Texas. He's occasionally taken some of his productions to Mexico, and I don't even think he does that nowadays. It's been such a long time, but it was such a weird comment in describing Rodriguez's work. Who hated Finn? They did. Put through hell by online hate mobs. Hope they have the receipts. They never do. That would have been a great story. Poor Finn. Poor man. That one always gets me. Kelly Chan thing has been debunked zillion times. Zillions! That book was trash. I'm halfway through it and I'm trying to get a refund from Amazon claiming white supremacy rhetoric. Yeah, you're not. There's a couple of people who have read it and like very disappointed. I think I'm one of them. And I was not. Unfortunately, I realized that this morning as I read more and more, I was like, fudge. Well, it's too late to go back now, but we can criticize it. I grew up with the original Battlestar, no Dirk. It was difficult for me to get past that. Damn right. Only Dirk is Starbuck. No! Dirk Benedict is not the only Starbuck. Blood and Chrome is technically a silent war. There you go. Okay, compare Obi-Wan show to draw. All right, my friends. That is my coverage and my only coverage of that book and disappointment in that book as well. On to more important things. I have what do we got? Let's look at our list here. We got a whole bunch of Flash stuff. We got 35 of you guys in the chat. Let's take a look at some, 48 likes. I love it. 65 votes. We have a lot of subscribers in the chat, a lot of members in the chat. So I want to give this away, this Flash poster. And we're going to give it away at the end of our spoiler talk. Okay, end of our spoiler talk. We will give this away, but we're going to go into some major spoiler talks. So who is interested in this poster? I got it for free when I went to see the screening for free. Full disclosure there. So let me know your interest. The sound of one man laughing. Hello, Paulie. I came in the middle of the book discussion. Nothing to say except hello. Good to see you. Okay, so the way we're going to do the further Flash spoilers is I have gathered 3 questions from people commenting in our latest video, in where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to bring that up because I was trying to work off memory as far as my spoiler review, and I thought it would be very interesting. So we're going to hit the forgotten Flash spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flash spoiler Q&A. So does this movie take place before Justice League? He knew, he being Barry Allen, he could travel back in time during that movie. And that was from Dozier C. He's a new member of the channel. And thank you for the comment, Dozier C. I love it. Let's bring up some images. Dozier C. So you're talking about the berries, right? This movie takes place before Justice League. He knew he could travel back in time during that movie. Okay. For the most part, there is present DC time, which is after the events of Justice League, and now they continue to fight the injustices around the world. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Flash. And it's established early on that the Flash, in his narration, he's sort of the janitor. He cleans up after everyone. He's not the first call. He's not the second. He's definitely the last call. Hey, go and get the kitty out of the tree scenario. So that's how we open up the movie. Now, in present day, it's pretty much Snyderverse as far as look and feel, with Wonder Woman and Cavill's Superman. Cavill's Superman is shown once, and it is just the back of him, where you see him going to save people from a volcano in Latin America, and it's a news flash, so it's through an image. It's not even a full screen. It's very quick. Wonder Woman comes and has her cameo, which I loved, and she helps that scenario I told you about in the beginning of the movie with Ben Affleck's Batman and the Flash. I thought that was exceptional. I actually thought most of the action was pretty cool. So that is the present timeline. And what forces Barry to go back is that he cannot get his father free, and looks like they're gonna ring him up permanently on murder charges. So that forces him to go back. And the point in time that he finds himself in is right before Barry gets his powers, which is Man of Steel. During Man of Steel, during that part where General Zod comes to Earth looking for Kal-El, that is where we're at for most of this movie here. So you have the two Barrys, one that just hasn't gotten his powers yet, and then our Barry as well. So that's where it's taking place. That's where he's taking place. Okay. Snyderverse will never die. I'm a DC kid, so I'm up for the Flash. You're gonna have fun, man. You're gonna have fun. Spoilers: how many houses does Barry break into to steal booze? Boom, boom. Okay, let's go on to our next spoiler question. Flash spoiler Q&A. Are there any clues or hints that Keaton's Batman and Sasha Supergirl ultimately survived the merger of realities at the end? And John asked that in the comments. Again, thank you so much for the question. Keaton's Batman and Sasha Calle's Batgirl. Supergirl. Okay, so it's not a matter of hints or clues, because during that timeline that I told you that they're back set in Man of Steel, there's a battle because General Zod comes to Earth to terraform it, and then find the DNA, and he wants the DNA of of Kara, Supergirl. So two things happen here, guys, right? Going back in this universe to when Kal-El's pod was sent out from Krypton, General Zod retrieves it. He doesn't retrieve Kara's pod. So we are meant to believe two pods were sent out, and they both have the DNA of the people of Krypton, Kara and Kal-El. Kal-El, Henry Cavill's Superman, didn't survive being a baby. Zod took him out. And that's where the line you get, "What did you do?" when she realizes that he had killed her cousin. They're cousins in this iteration. So there's no hints. It's all there in the storyline. So Superman doesn't. Now, you asked about Batman and Supergirl. I'm just setting this up as to why there's Supergirl and not Superman in this particular universe. In this particular universe, where young Barry just gets his powers and our Barry is trying to save his mom's life, the terraform is successful. General Zod gets the DNA of Supergirl and kills her on the battlefield. General Zod and his people kill Batman on the battlefield. That happens in battle. And what the Barrys tried to do is they try to rewind time on the battlefield so they could save Batman. It happens, it works once, but they get that, hey, no matter how many times they rewind it and they do it a few times, Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, still dies. So they do not successfully survive because no one survives. In that universe, Earth is completely terraformed. General Zod wins. And those are the only metahumans at that time. There's no Cyborg or they couldn't find Aquaman. So I hope that answers your question. Sasha, Supergirl ultimately survives a merger of these two. Yeah, there's no survival there. And once he has the DNA, he doesn't need her. And she won't join him. Zod doesn't need Kara. All right. Great. Okay, we got one more. We got one more, guys. And then we're going to do the giveaway, and then we're going to do the winners and all that good stuff. Baby, Kal-El, and Kara, how does Zod find them? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That I kind of already answered that. In that the beacon was in the pod, right? And they got Kal-El, like I said. Now, they couldn't find Kara's because she was, and it's not really clear. It's just clear that she's been in an underground Russian bunker, imprisoned forever. Maybe ever since she was a little girl. They didn't really there was no flashback on that, which I think maybe there was, which ultimately I'll just wait on that. Let me just wait on that. So once she regains her powers, Zod's there already. There's already the battle. He's already started terraforming. He's already jacked up Gotham. She doesn't want to fight at first with the humans because the humans have not done nothing but torture her, but she ends up joining Barry and helps actually Barry regain his powers. So that's how that ends up. Okay. Now let me see. Here's my thing with Supergirl. And those were the Mrs. I just want to do a little spotlight on Supergirl. And thank you guys for being here. Supergirl's character, more than Batman, really suffers the editing chop in this movie. You can tell there was a lot of her story cut out. Early reports was that Supergirl and Sasha Calle's performance was one of the big standouts. And this was a longer movie, as you know. But unfortunately, with a lot of reshoots and editing and I don't know what, you can tell her performance was really cut to ribbons. In that we didn't get anything about her time on Earth, and anything with her relationship to Kal-El, to Krypton, to the general that was substantive. It was more like really quick one-liners. To where we really cared for her, which I think would have added weight to that third act, to where we would have really cared that the two Barrys and her and Batman became that new Justice League to fight Zod. We just didn't care. And I think she suffers the most because she's the new character in all these. I think what happened was with that corporate kind of creative control. Well, people know about Michael Keaton's character. They know about General Zod's character, so we can afford to cut their stories down and not suffer so much. Whereas we suffered the most because it is promoted and marketed that this film is heavy Batman, heavy Supergirl, and it's not. It's just not. It's just not. And that's kind of a disservice to the fans, but it's not kind of a disservice. It's a big disservice because ultimately, listen, Michael Keaton, he looked like he didn't want to be there. I've seen better, right, from Michael, but that's just me. Kara, you can tell that Sasha Calle was really, really invested in this character, and she was doing some great dramatic stuff, but it was cut. So you automatically got, her and the Flash bonding really quick just because he saved her. And then she went away. She comes back. Oh, I've changed my mind. There was a lot for the audience to assume, so that was it. That's unfortunate because, again, you could see a really good performance that was cut away and cut up from Sasha Calle. So, and like I said, we've heard nothing but great things about her performance, which ultimately didn't happen. Release the Kara cut. I gotta tell you, Sasha is a great presence on film. I look forward to seeing her doing other things. I know she's a singer-songwriter. I hope we get to see her in some other films before then. It's very powerful. But, she just suffered from that cut. All right, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Where are we at with let's close up the 69 votes. We're going to end the poll. Pre-Sasha Calle, long-haired Sasha, wins by 75%. Wow, I think that's the biggest Feedme win ever. What do you think there, Fletcher? I mean, that's like insanely decisive.
Yeah, I want to know who voted for the short hair.
So Sasha Calle wins. Thank you guys for voting. Pre-Sasha Calle wins. Pre-DC. There she is.
Landslide.
Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Very nice.
Very good.
And I don't know where Fletcher went, but that's okay. We can watch Sasha one more time. Absolutely, we can. Oh, wait a minute. Were you talking?
What?
Yeah, you were talking. Yeah. I had my speaker off. Oh. Anyways, well, there you go, man.
Short hair Kaya was trying to, sabotage me.
I don't think we saw anyone win by this much.
It's a landslide.
I mean, against themselves.
It's a hair slide. She won by a hair.
Against themselves.
Yep.
Wow. I voted for Sasha because I didn't know that was a Sasha was. Now I know I want to change my vote. You voted post Sasha. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh.
Wow. Interesting. Long hair wins every time.
Right.
75%, bro. I didn't vote, but pre is better.
Yeah, looks like people who voted might have, like voted early.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it. Pre Sasha Calle.
They weren't sure what we were talking about.
Is the winner. Well, thanks a lot. So, what are your thoughts there on what we've been talking about this past hour?
No, I think that a lot of people kind of know what's been going on in Hollywood. Now some people are starting to say what's going on in Hollywood, but it does seem like what they're saying is heavily slanted towards one side. And the shame of it is they keep blaming the fans for things that basically the media is creating that's not really there. It's almost like they're chasing ghosts.
Are you going to see The Flash, Fletcher?
I'm still debating. So if the chat wants me to see it, I'll see it.
Well,
Please
how do we want to give
me.
away this poster, man? All right. What should the question be from our spoilers? What should the question be from our spoilers?
Whose booty was shown live on the television on the movie?
Whose butt? Oh man, from the spoilers. From the spoilers I gave.
Oh, from the spoilers I gave. Yeah. How did Superman? Why wasn't Superman in this one?
Okay, if you can answer why was Superman wasn't in this one in Supergirl, you'll win this. We'll ship it off to you. Answer now in the chat. It's a nice little poster. It's not like the big one like my Spider-Man one. It's a good size.
Yeah.
Here, let's do that right now. Flash poster giveaway. Members cannot play. Maybe they should be able to play.
I think I should be able to play.
All right, let me there we go. Edit. Anyone can play. Answer now and you can win.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, let me see. Who's answered?
Let's see, I'm still looking.
You said Sasha scenes were cut. How many Ezra scenes could have been cut from the movie to replace it with her? Daniel, you would have no film if you cut his scenes. That's the problem. He not only is in every scene, there's multiple of him in most of the film. There's two of them. That's the problem they had with this film.
There you go. We got a winner.
We got a winner. CETH. Seth. Zod found Kal-El as a baby and then killed him.
Killed him.
Killed. All right, Seth. Killed. Seth, you need to email me and I will get that to you. Here, let me put it in the chat.
In this reiteration, General Zod was Scottish. That's why he killed him. Tune.
Email me latinoslant@gmail. Get your poster. Congratulations, you're the winner. Yay! Do we got like a video for winners?
I think it's the one where you took your shirt off.
No. It's definitely not that. But here's a winner. Good job, my man. Good job, Seth. Congrats, man. Congrats. All right. So, my dude, I think we have done our major items of the day.
Oh, you still got your okay.
Right? But we still need to talk about this week, recommendations for this week. And let me know right now, guys, in the chat. Yes, that midget cowboy is hilarious. All right, one more time. One more time. Because you asked for it. It's so small, I can't find it. That's not it. Here he is. Okay, let's talk about what's happening this week. So we told you guys the box office results happening this week. The Flash is opening up this weekend. That's the big film release in the theaters. This Wednesday night, though, I will be going with Chris Gore to see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny early. And so you will get a reaction, right out the gate video. And then later on, I'll figure out when I can release it, a full spoiler review. I mean, this is, I don't know any other really IPs that are left that haven't been ruined there, Fletcher.
They're still trying to find them. They'll find them. They just messed with Gremlins. Who found that?
Gremlins. Didn't they just mess with that, though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How far they had to dig for that? They're lurking.
Okay, so there's that. Here's what I recommend for this week. On Prime Video is the TV show Primo. Excellent comedy. Yo, put yourself on mute, my friend, when you're moving around like that. Also, too, Across the Spider-Verse, I was a fan of in the theaters. That's still in the theaters. Big hit. But then also the movie Flamin' Hot. Let me ask you this, Fletcher. Did you get a chance to see Flamin' Hot?
Actually, did not yet. I have it on my what to watch. I've been busy this week, but it's definitely on my what to watch.
So I just got sent this Flamin' Hot movie, the most watched streaming premiere from Searchlight Pictures, based on hours watched in its first 3 days, and it's on Hulu and Disney Plus.
That's awesome.
So, should this have been released in the movie theater?
I think so. Why wouldn't you release it in the movie theater?
Yeah.
Especially it's a feel-good movie. That's what the pre-summer thing it's about. You want those movies to get that steam.
So I just got this from our buddy Alejandro Montoya Marin, and he's in it. I've seen it now twice, once in the theater, and then I saw it with Romy last night here at the house. It's absolutely a charming, feel-good movie. And the Jesse, the lead, is very, very, very inviting, like warm to watch. You're rooting for him. So yeah, that's called Flaming Hot, which I highly recommend. Julissa is a member of the channel. Watch it on Friday with the family to celebrate the last day of school. I think it would have done very well in the theater.
Yeah, it makes sense. You should have totally put it out in theaters. It makes no sense. I mean, it didn't cost that much to make. Why not put it out? It would have been a bonanza.
I'm getting some more information on this, you know, as we speak, saying that this money, this could have made a lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
it totally should be. It should be. It's one of those things that you could have taken the money that you put for that Robert De Niro movie that was out, put it on this one, it would have gone
Oh my
gangbusters.
God, you're right.
Gangbusters, totally gangbusters. This is kind of like what was that Crazy Rich Asians type of, you know, it's
You're
got that like underground movie that it's gonna go gangbusters because anybody from anywhere can relate.
interesting. Interesting. Wow. So yeah, I'll think about whether I want to do a video on this, maybe, or Disney missed the marker. I mean, we're, celebrating it because it is a really good film. And it's a, a Latino cast and director, but as we talked about, it's a very entertaining film. Flaming Hot this week. Those are my recommends. Yeah, it is a Slant recommends. It is a play on that because it's almost he had an angelic moment as far as his connection to a new product on it. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, it is a good comparison. How did that movie do?
It didn't. That's how it did. But it had the money, to push it.
What's it called? About?
And all you needed for this was a little bit more cash. Come on, stinking Disney.
Oh man. Oh man.
About the father-in-law or something like that.
3.6.
My father-in-law. Is it my father-in-law?
About my father.
Wow. About
all right,
my
here we
father,
go.
that's what it is.
Well, it's because it was De Niro, right? And they thought that De Niro could capture that. Meet the Fockers, where audience, and that audience hasn't been there in years. And De Niro's not De Niro anymore.
No, he's not De Niro anymore.
It was released by Lionsgate May 26th and received generally negative reviews from critics. Go down. Budget 29.1. Box office 12.1.
Yeah. They would have if they
Wow.
did put it out, they would have saved money. They could have just tax write off that thing.
Wow. Well, they probably had it in De Niro's
contract, right?
Contract.
But picture that versus Red Hot, which was independently made,
right?
And it's going gangbusters.
Well, let's look. I don't think it was made on a. It was made. Let me see. Flamin' Hot. Okay. Trying to find the budget.
Yeah, the budget was so low you can't even find it. That's how low the budget was.
Well, the producer Devon Franklin, it took him almost 7 years for this thing to get made. So it definitely was a labor of love. But it's there you go. It's become an online hit, and I'm sure we'll get some more numbers. Would have been nice to find out where we could. Anyone in the chat knows where we can find the budget? That'd be great for Flaming Hot, because it's not here on their Wikipedia. Now, my source is telling me that that with this theme, this time with Flamin' Hot would have been perfect. It really could have made a lot more money.
Oh yeah, I would say at least 80. You know, easy,
Well, more than
because
12
it's
million,
a
bro.
family film. You know, you could take your whole family to. It's a feel good movie. Who doesn't want that?
This could have made a lot more money, and producers told me there's a new milestone. Oh boy, oh boy. You see, all everything we were talking about is kind of like the same theme here. It's just so incredibly difficult for these different films that maybe have the ethnic background as a story to be taken seriously or be given, a proper release, a proper, I will say the last week it's been getting a lot more marketing. I think Disney knew, damn, this is a really good film. Let's now, let's, let's hit it.
Right.
Way better than a fucking About My Father. It made enough to wash the money. The De Niro one. All right. So that is my thing, what to watch. So I think we are now down to that last moment. What do you think? Should we just bring it up or should we ask our audience? Wait a minute. What do you think, Fletcher?
Yeah, I agree. There's not. I mean, you look at it this way: the majority of people who get a lot of tickets to go to a movie to make it a family event are people like Latinos, Asians, that go in droves to these movies, um, and they don't necessarily mind if they're represented. They're like, okay, they just want to be entertained. Here you have something that in them, but also they can see a little bit of themselves, get a little bit, bring the Tio who's always doing the same thing that the character's doing or something like that. This is a family event.
Okay.
And family
So
events,
here's what I want to do,
tell
Fletcher.
other family, hey, go check it out in family droves. They had a big fail.
Okay. So I want you to continue your thought. I'll be right back. And then once you've finished your thought there, I want you to fill in the audience right now what we're about to do with this reaction video. We're going to do live, okay? You there, buddy?
All right.
All right. Go ahead. It's all you. Be right back.
All right. All right, Chad. So what we're going to say that he was going to take it upon himself to be the savior of all us poor people of color. And we will see this man in all his glory share how we can be saved. And you might agree with this man, you might disagree with this man, but this man has an opinion that we will now witness. And you will share with us for the first time, because this is the first time we're going to see this. We just heard that this happened. So now we're going to either celebrate or boo-hoo what this gentleman has said. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Senor Campea, who is a YouTuber of very, very famous background, who started this like a long time ago, but recently has been having a few, shall we say, hot takes, or takes that are too hot or too controversial. So hopefully You guys can watch it with us, or hopefully you're new to watching this. With us, so we can kind of decide which way did he go, why did he go that way, why would anybody go that way. It's what we're thinking, but we don't know. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt. We gotta see if he maybe has a good heart to come into this, or maybe he's doing it for the clicks, the likes, or the corporate sponsorship. We don't know. So keep a fresh eye when you're a fresh ear when you're witnessing this.
Okay.
Correct, Paulie?
Did we mention the gentleman's name?
We did mention his Señor Campea.
Okay, well, listen, I normally wouldn't do this, but I feel once you tread territory that we cover and we've covered, I feel way more with the full rounded and actual knowledge of the issues. You're going to get checked, and that's what I hope to do with this reaction, because yes, the slant has been subscribed to the John Campea show for a while. I watched it avidly when our friend R&B Robert Meyer Burnett was on the show. I don't like the way he was let go. I didn't, and I didn't like any of that unprofessional just how he operated unprofessionally with our boy R&B. So I know there was a big brush, big old hubbub last week with this video where he's like, I want 30,000 view racist or whatever, get off my channel because you're this, you're that, he was pretty explicit that night. I don't know if where he was coming from, before, but it looked like it doesn't look like he was sober. But it was a trip to watch. And he was talking about fandom's reaction to Little Mermaid, of all things, or the casting of the dragon. How to tame your dragon, the character. Of all things to die on the hill for. And I just had never watched Homeboy talk about these issues before at length on his show. He's always seemed so very, safe and cut and dry, move on. So here, Hollywood, race swapping, and 100 years of exclusion. Guys, this is right up my territory, homies. This is right up my territory. So, Mr. Campea, vas a ver. Let's see what this homeboy has to say.
The topic of Hollywood and race and gender swapping has been a hot button issue around fan circles lately. As a matter of fact, just recently, controversy erupted over the casting of a black actress as a mythological sea creature who is half woman and half fish. Even more recently, the controversy continued when a young actress who...
Okay, let's stop there. Let's stop there. So, homeboy's saying that there's been some racist controversy recently because of Miss Bailey here getting the role of Ariel. People have been complaining about this for a few years since it was announced. They weren't happy with it. Whether that had to do with it being accurate to the first iteration of Little Mermaid, or they just didn't like it that it was a black woman. There was some of that, but there was more of like it's just a plastic representation. That's what I got in the circles I ran around with. to me, I give everything a fair shot. I just didn't like the film. Right? That's it. And I could care whether she was black or white or I don't know what. It was just boring. But let's go on, homie. See what you got to say.
Continued when a young actress who is 75% white was apparently not white enough for some people to play a character who is part of a non-existent fictional tribe of Viking-like people who have heavy Scottish accents and whose children have heavy American accents and fly on dragons.
Okay, so Campea's talking about this actress, fine actress. She was in young actress. She was in Last of Us. I think she's Thandie Newton's daughter. Really good in Last of Us. So for her to be the lead, I'm like, cool. I mean, little girl can act. I've never seen this cartoon before. I could care less. But if you're saying it's nonfiction and then in the same breath saying it's Viking, well, there's some wait, what did you say? Fictional? I don't want to put words in your mouth, homeboy.
Accents and whose children who have heavy fictional white was apparently not white enough for some people to play a character who is part of a non-existent fictional tribe of Viking-like people who have heavy Scottish accents and whose children have heavy American accents and fly on dragons.
Okay. You can't be fictional and be Viking at the same time. They're fictional characters, but they're set as Vikings. Tell us a story, right? And in that timeline or whatever it is, if it's set in the old days, I don't know what, most Vikings were, Vikings, blondes and redheads. I don't know what. I hate to say it. Yeah, they don't look like this actor. But again, for me, I can't fully judge until I see the movie. He's also talking about accents, right? Some were Scottish, some were American. Those are the voiceover actors for this fictional Viking family. And that to me is a weak argument because at the end of the day, it's an American perspective made cartoon that is trying to sell it to its American audience. So I don't know what you're saying, brother. I mean, I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to get at is that, oh, this is so silly because everything about it is already fictional. So, why are people, losing their shit? All right, Vato. Well, where'd you go? Okay, let's keep going here.
Now, the common objections that are typically raised whenever a non-white actor is cast in one of those roles that had previously been portrayed as white tend to be one of the following. Why do you have to change the character? What's wrong with keeping the character as they were? So I thought we'd take some time to sit down and address these questions by taking a look at the historical context of Hollywood and race and the modern trend of Hollywood remakes retelling old stories that were originally created and told when no one other than white performers were ever given the opportunity to act in them. Now, the ideology...
I find this really strange that is this homeboy doing this video. I'm just going to be honest with you, right? I never would expect this video to come out. You'd expect this video from me, and I have those videos, right? I've broken down the hypocrisy and the racism of Hollywood for over 100 years. On a lot of my videos, you can catch those playlists, especially when it has to do with Latino portrayals. So again, like with a lot of these arguments I hear, right? Where's the truth, right? That is true. Okay. Why do you have to change the character? What's wrong with keeping the character as they were? I think changing the character, right, from their corporate point of view is like, oh, we get to have that plastic representation, so we're safe, and we get to keep the IP. I don't think there's any much more thought than that. Now, what he's saying, he wants to go back and show us how Let me see what he said.
retelling old stories that were original character as they were. So I thought we'd take some time to sit down and address these questions by taking a look at the historical context of Hollywood and race and the modern trend of Hollywood remakes retelling old stories that were originally created and told when no one other than white performers were ever given the opportunity to act in them. Now,
Homeboy's he's got a lot to bite off in 7 minutes. And this is typical that my channel is built on this, right? And because you have a breakdown, you have your moment, I don't know what. Now you think, well, I'm gonna further crusade here, because you got no skin in the game. I believe you're what, Italian Canadian, you have never ever talked about this on your channel, on your live streams. And I definitely have disagreed with your takes on and R&B. I'm going to be fair, and R&B's takes on authentic representation when it came to Andor or Wakanda Forever. So yeah, homie, let's see what you got.
The ideology of only white actors being leading men and ladies is one that runs deep throughout Hollywood's history. Some actors, as a matter of fact, in the early days often had to actually hide their ethnicities in order to have a career. Take, for example, Margarita Carmen Cancino, an actress who presents...
So he's going to bring up Rita Hayworth from the 40s, I believe. And absolutely, that is true. And she got away with it because of her fair complexion. But for everyone that did that, there was an actor that didn't do that. Okay. And I'm already thinking of that same era: Rita Moreno, Anthony Quinn, Jose Ferrer. All three of those, what do they have in common? From the 50s and early 60s, they all won Academy Awards. So yes and no.
Herself as white and hid her Hispanic heritage. This young woman was told to dye her hair and change her hairline, among other things, to look more aesthetically white. She also changed her name.
Here's another thing, guys. That was a complete different time. Complete different time. And it wasn't just in Hollywood. It was everywhere in our society. That if, whatever your background was, if you could pass for white, the whiter the better, you'll be more successful. So, let's paint that. And homeboy wouldn't know that because he's not American. And Rita Hayworth's family had a very successful dance academy and acting academy in Boyle Heights, which is connected right to downtown LA. So they used their fame for a lot of good, which you don't talk about, Campea, because you probably don't know. But that's all right, because that's why the Latino slant is here.
I know her better as Rita Hayworth. The reality is, in the entire last century of the Hollywood industry, it's operated on an agenda of exclusion. The CBC articulated it best when they put it this way. From Hollywood's beginnings, minorities were mostly given roles as subservient maids, butlers, slaves, and sharecroppers in movies with regressive racist messages. For most of the past century, stories Hollywood is elected to tell have been nearly exclusively told from the corner of the white-only spectrum.
Okay, I don't know. CBC, can someone help me with that? I assume CBC is some Canadian thing. Again, it's a half truth, right? Yes, but it's a white Jewish created medium film. Who are they gonna have? Who are their stars? What are they gonna be talking about? Is gonna be that. Now, again, two, minorities were mostly given roles as subservient maids, butlers, slaves, sharecroppers. But in the silent era, there are also the Sheik, Ben-Hur. Ramon Navarro was Ben-Hur. Lupe Velez was, had great roles as well. So to say this. See, this is the problem with sweeping statements. It's much more complex than that, because the subservient maid, Hattie McDaniel, created an Oscar-winning performance out of being a subservient maid. She vaulted that and Gone with the Wind, and unfortunately, because of the racist day and age in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, California, she had to get her award in the back of the room. She had to come. She couldn't come through the front entrance. So, and there's always that group that was always fighting with the Hollywood studio heads against this. So you got to tell the whole picture, homie. That yes, there was, but then there's also example after example where people went against that and were successful. So, again, and also too, let me tell you, there were successful Mexican American producers as well as at that time, who were able to push the envelope. All right, homie.
Spectrum. Over the last decade, studios have, to their credit, begun to acknowledge and admit the rampant discrimination and exclusion their industry practiced for the better part of the 20th century, and rightfully so. For ages, there simply weren't significant...
Listen, if you mean by putting up a piñata or putting up our your token black character as recognizing, yeah. But I mean, the past 10 years, you can say, have been a joke of plastic representation. And you can also say when there has been successes, it's because those properties were either already done and created, so studios bought them, or those innovative creators fought their way in and were able to get shows or films done. But it's not because of Hollywood changed. No, Campea. Hell no. It's because we push the dial independently and we push the dial in the system. So the system's still inherently racist. So fuck that. I don't know what you're talking about. Now I'm starting to get pissed off. Now I'm all right. This is fun. You guys having fun? I'm reacting to this. Are we having fun? Start some good ones for me, Fletcher. Let's get back into this. It's homeboy. What's up, homeboy? What you talking about, homeboy? Boo! Still got 6 minutes.
Significant roles in movies or characters that were minorities. And of the few that there were, they would usually lean heavily into stereotypes or they'd be played by white actors.
Hey, homeboy, can you stop using the word minority? People of color. We are not a minority. See, that thinking right there, that is typical white liberal fucking do-gooderisms, man. No one is a minority. That's why that story of Flaming Hot is so special, because it's like a Rudy. You tell them, no, fuck that. We're going to keep on going, man. This lens, man, this is the lens of that I had the pleasure of growing up with in liberal Santa Monica, where I would get from my other liberal progressive friends, oh, Paulie, I just saw you performance, or I just saw you doing this creative thing. I never thought it would be so smart. Aren't you a credit to your race? Oh, mamadas. All right, man. Let's see what else you got. Oh, boy.
Hollywood's use of blackface in the 1940s. Mickey Rooney playing a Japanese man in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Burt Lancaster in Apache. And just in case you think there are only older examples of this sort of thing, Remember Jake Gyllenhaal in Prince of Persia? And hey, Johnny Depp as the iconic Native American character Tonto in The Lone Ranger? A casting decision that they tried to justify by claiming that one of Johnny Depp's 8 great-grandparents was actually half Comanche. Unless you think that kind of exclusion only took place in our parents' era, don't forget that just recently it came out that Ike Perlmutter, former head of Marvel, who was Kevin Feige's boss for many years, actively fought against the idea of Marvel making Black Panther or Captain Marvel because he didn't believe Marvel should be making movies with black or female leads. As Esquire magazine wrote, Perlmutter tried to get both Black Panther and Captain Marvel canceled, believing that no one would ever be interested in a black or woman hero in a Marvel film. So
I got nothing wrong with the last minute. It's just, I know where this is going. I know where this argument is going. I know where it's come from. And, you know, I know the facts. And yeah, I mean, so let's go on, man. Jesus.
Under Ike Perlmutter, it's no wonder that despite the fact that Marvel Comics today has many minority and female characters to draw from, the first 17 movies in the MCU were all made with white male leads. As a side note, it should be noted that both Black Panther and Captain Marvel went on to make over $1 billion each at the box office. And it wasn't just at Marvel.
Hold on, homeboy. Look it. You're talking about the first 17, I don't know what, white leads. A vast array of people made those movies a success. People of all backgrounds. As we document week after week, video after video, the Latino audience, a mainstay of the American box office, doesn't give a shit if they don't see themselves on film. They want to be entertained. They want a great story. If it's a brand, they want to go check out a Transformer. They want to go and see Captain America. And Black Panther was a cultural landmark moment, period. Absolutely. But Miss Marvel was a success off the huge success of Avengers and Black Panther. It was marketed as that you have to see this movie to get everything. It was the first time they did that, right? You're going to miss it. You're going to miss something. So I was not a fan of that movie. Black Panther, incredible. I like Black Panther. Didn't like Wakanda Forever. I love Miss Marvel TV show. 52-year-old Mexican guy. So, yeah, man. Let's continue.
Marvel. Shortly after Perlmutter's prejudices became public, several whistleblowers came forward revealing the same mindset among executives in other major studios as well. This is especially problematic when you recognize that Hollywood has been dominated by white executives and producers.
Okay, I got an idea, homie. Since you're so against, white cis, straight, blah, 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 blah. Give up your show. Do you have a minority? Whoever that minority is, give them your show. Your success, your hard work, give it to them. And if you can't find one, and you have all the 300,000, or I don't know what, tell them all to go and subscribe to Struggle Reviews TV. Female, black, incredible YouTuber. Say, we're now not the John Campea show. We're now Struggle Reviews. Give it. You're white. You're straight. Do it. Do it now. Do it right now. I'm tired of this liberal virtue standing. And it's the white man that's the problem. You know what? All right, homeboy. Hand it over. And if you don't, quit. Shut it down. Close that channel up. Because by you pointing out these other white men, you're pointing out to yourself. Come on, man. Come on now. I already got in my strong but little and mighty chat, my followers, they give me dozens and dozens of examples of shows that go against what you're saying. And guess what? Those are greenlit by evil white men. Now, I'm not going to say Hollywood hasn't been, this, field of ignorance. That would be stupid on me. And like I said, we've talked about that. But what are you doing, man? And again, why are you saying this now? It's always, it's always easy to like, have this argument in a funnel. And I say this to my people on the right. I say this to my people in the middle. I say this to my people on the left, is that get on, if you're going to come on, get on a panel or invite someone that doesn't think exactly like you and have a discussion. But this is just goofy, man. There's something off. All right, man. Here we go. Let's make you big.
Same ones who have been reluctant to cast non-white actors in leading roles. How big of a problem is this? Well, the Washington Post found that in Hollywood, 96% of the executive branch of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences are white, and 87% of them are male. So yeah, when you've got 87 to 96% of your executives are like little Ike Perlmutters running around, you've got a potential problem on your hands.
Wow. So the whole percentage is then like this gentleman who I don't know. I don't know what the, let's just assume you're right. I'm going to assume you're right. You're correct in that this Ike guy is a racist POS, for argument's sake. And then you're saying, for argument's sake, 98% of, whatever it is are like little Ikes. Damn, brother.
So with that in mind, let's go back to the question posed by those people who object to roles being given to Black, female, and other minority actors for characters who perhaps...
Black, female, and other minority actors.
One time had been portrayed as white or male. Why do you have to change the character? What's wrong with keeping the character as they were? Well, if we can agree, and the evidence is so overwhelming here that there really shouldn't be any disagreement, that for the last century, stories have been created and roles have been given out under a Hollywood system that has aggressively asserted a policy of exclusion, and if we can agree that the problem isn't just an old one, but rather one that still lingers, in the words of Michael Mann, the director of the iconic movie Heat, there is a self-perpetuating persistence of institutional racism in Hollywood.
Okay, so he's saying that if we agree that Hollywood has been racist in the past and to a certain degree has been racist now, which he contradicted himself by saying Hollywood has been great the last 10 years with minorities. He's setting this up, right? He's setting this up. And Michael Mann, who I adore, love his work, there is a self-perpetuating persistence of institutional racism in Hollywood. That's a quote. I would like to know what the full conversation was. In this quote is not exactly wrong. But like with anything, right? It's very complex. And like with anything, there's always exceptions to the rule. There's always that flaming hot, that primo, that Miles Morales, those successes, right? That punch on through. And This to me, right, what Homeboy is saying, right, black and women and other minorities. I mean, this is the fucking invisibility problem that we keep getting as a Latino ethnicity. It's like, we're the biggest minority in the United States. We're the biggest movie going group in the United States. When the fuck are we going to get some respect around here? I mean, it boggles my mind, but I'm never surprised because Homeboy is practicing exactly what he's trying to virtue signal against. Okay, let's go back to him. Hope you guys are enjoying this reaction, this live reaction.
Then we have to ask this supremely important question. This question is at the heart of the entire issue. The question we must ask is, if Hollywood is revisiting retelling stories with characters that were originally created and cast under a Hollywood system filled with prejudices and policies of exclusion, then why should we be obligated to maintain those prejudices and exclusion when retelling these stories today? Shouldn't we be able to create new incarnations of classic stories and beloved characters, but this time have them open to everyone? If we
The big question, right? If Hollywood is revisiting and retelling stories with characters that originally created and cast under a Hollywood system filled with prejudices, then why should that's not the big question. It's not the big question. The big question is, why is Hollywood consistently remaking and retelling their classic stories in an uncreative and discriminatory plastic representation manner, instead of greenlighting new and original work with stories of people who happen to be of different backgrounds? That is the real question, Campea. The answer to this is because they're lazy fucks that don't give a fuck. And they'll parade the minority of the week. They'll parade a pride flag. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Because they'll think that's what keeps them safe and not canceled, but is a half measure. My black people, my gay and lesbian people, my fucking minority people, whatever you want to call yourselves, I have your back in this. I believe in you guys. I believe in your talent. And if it's a story for everyone, then I'm going to scream it to the heavens. But this, they don't give a shit about you. And John, the way that you're seeing this is totally from an outsider point of view. That you're kind of towing your own liberal line, but you're not really fighting the fight.
Why should we be obligated to maintain those prejudices and exclusion when retelling these stories today? Shouldn't we be able to create new incarnations of classic stories and beloved characters, but this time have them open to everyone?
No.
If we shake off the old agenda of exclusion that has infected Hollywood for over 100 years, shouldn't we be able to say that at least some of these rich characters can be played by anyone of any color or ethnic background?
Some, but not all. But I'd rather just have originals at this point, because what Hollywood has proven is that they can't even do that right. They don't really care to do that right.
Can't we say to the rest of humanity, hey, the playground is no longer off limits to you. Come on in. Why does a mythological half-fish woman have to be played by a white actress? If your answer to that question is, well, that's the way it was done before, then you're ignoring the history and patterns of the last 100 years and essentially saying, these were made with the playground closed to minorities and we want it to stay closed. And that just won't cut it anymore.
No. You're going to bring up Stanley. Fuck that. No, They're not saying that. They're saying that is those people of all backgrounds, Black, Latino, I don't know what, love those very much. Not just white people. You don't make stuff just for white people, right? Just if you're gonna make new things, right? New creations with an agenda of I want non-white people to be in these, then let them be original and let the chips fall where they may. Just like with anything. It's just like with anything. I see you, Jonas. I'm gonna get to your super chats in a minute. Thanks, bro. I want to get through. We got 2 more minutes of this. You guys enjoying this? I hope so. No, we don't do these live reactions like this. And yeah, let's go on.
It was Stan Lee himself who recognized that the entertainment machine was actively excluding minorities from their stories and movies, and he decided to create Black Panther. In an interview later in his life, Lee revealed one of
a straight white man
his main motivations in doing so when he said, "A good many of our people here in America are not white. You've got to recognize that, and you've got to include them in the stories you tell." Lee and others have been telling us for years to open up the playground and take down the whites only sign hanging on the gate.
Okay, well, obviously Stan Lee's not from Hollywood, doesn't have he doesn't come from that pedigree, and it shows in his work. Even he's had some run-ins with people that he's hired and creative rights. There's been problems, but you can say Stan has always been open when it comes to these ethnic issues. So that being said, he created one character of many white characters, because even at that time he had to, make things differently. You're quoting Stan Lee. Let's go back.
Here in America are not white. You've got to recognize that, and you've got to include them in the stories you tell. Lee and others have been telling us for years to open up the playground and take down the whites only sign hanging on the gate. And great things.
So this white guy told us to take that white side down. And I'm white and I'm complaining about this, but I have success. What is going on in this video, guys? I'm now perplexed. I didn't finish watching this video. You're getting my reaction now, right? But because of what he's covering in this and what the slant is all about,
can happen when we do that. Stories start to reflect the real world more. By allowing minorities to play some traditionally white roles, we create a more accurate depiction of the world we live in, fostering inclusivity.
What? There was never a Black or Latino Viking. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? A mermaid, sure. Absolutely. But you can't, it's just got to be case by case, dude. And if you're talking about blind casting, non-traditional casting, that is more for theater, experimental theater. I'm all for that. But that's not how film goes. Stories start to reflect the real world more. The real world goes through a lot of real world shit every day. They want to escape. They want to be entertained. I'm sounding like a fucking broken record here. They don't necessarily want to see their own misery on screen, or their triumph, or their joys. They want to see larger than life stuff. But it's good to have a diversity of storytelling. Absolutely. But through a mermaid, through a Viking, there's so many of our stories that are just not told. Start there, homeboy. Start with the Union Battalion Army that came out of Texas that were made of all Mexican Americans. Start there. It's a great story. I'm actually really trying to like keep my full emotions in check. Start with the 900th century Toltec queen Xochitl, who led her own female army into battle as a queen, and they were all slaughtered. But she was such an amazing character, real person character, that she was beloved by her followers, during her kingdom. Start with Nezahualcóyotl, who is a 14th century poet warrior Aztec king who stopped human sacrificing, was an architect, a poet, a warrior. He was denied his kingdom as a little boy, nearly was killed. I've recited his poetry on this. Start there, Campea. Why don't you do a video on him? I could go on and on and on. In fact, I have gone on and on of what Hollywood should do. I don't want to be a Latino Viking. I already have that in my ancestry. Start there. I don't need to see another enslavement story of, Afro Latinos that were shitted on, or a colonizing story. I know those stories. Tell me something uplifting. Tell me something. Tell me that flaming hot. Homeboy doesn't get it, man. It's through a very small lens. I'm telling you.
By allowing minorities to play some traditionally white roles, we create a more accurate depiction of the world we live in, fostering inclusivity and breaking down barriers. Number two, we enhance.
Inclusivity is a bad word now. I'm going to say it. It's a bad word. Diversity, representation, they've all been bad words for a while.
Creative freedom. Allowing minorities to play some of these roles expands the possibilities for storytelling and character development. It opens up new avenues for exploring different perspectives, cultures, and experiences, enriching the narratives and challenging conventional norms. Thirdly, we elevate quality and talent over ethnicity. Historically, the lack of representation and systemic barriers have limited the chances for minority actors to access prominent roles, leading to even fewer opportunities. By diversifying casting options, we can ensure that talent and skill are the primary factors in casting decisions rather than the ethnicity of the actors. Fourth, we allow audiences to see more of themselves in the stories.
Elevate quality and talent over ethnicity.
For exploring different perspectives, cultures, and experiences, enriching the narratives and challenging conventional norms. Thirdly, we elevate quality and talent over ethnicity. Historically, the lack of representation and systemic barriers have limited the chances for minority actors to access prominent roles, leading to even fewer opportunities.
Well, knowing by my girlfriend's experience in business as a Latina actress, she has broken the barriers with several of her roles that were written on paper as blonde women. But when given the opportunity, she got the roles. And that happens every day. So, John, you are not winning your argument. Your argument's just, it's kind of like this pieced, you're piecing these kind of, liberal takes here and there and kind of make it into one sound. And there's nothing really cogent about your argument, because I can poke it every time. And we can even, you talk about the last 25 years. I mean, even Edward James Olmos as Adama pokes at John Leguizamo's work, where he's played out of his ethnicity. I mean, it's been happening. It's happening more and more. Yeah, man. I'm almost like, take your talking points and go make a fucking movie. Put your money where your mouth is. Stop telling fans, because you're really kind of barking up fans. You're really pissed off at fans. And if you're virtue signaling and telling Hollywood's racist, Hollywood's bad, no shit, then you got money, you know. You cut your show in half, over half, by getting rid of all your homies in your show, which was the only time I watched it when it was good. So you got the money. Go make a short. Better yet, get a hold of me. I will connect you with a Latino filmmaker writer. Fund that filmmaker writer 100%. Just do it. Just do it. Put your money where your mouth is, and just go and just do it. Okay? And be that white male that doesn't get to have any say, doesn't control it. I don't know what. Put your money where your mouth is and go fund a independent Latino production. Because you're the one that's setting the rules there. You got your arguments, goofball arguments.
By diversifying casting options, we can ensure that talent and skill are the primary factors in casting decisions rather than the ethnicity of the actors. Fourth, we allow audiences to see more of themselves in the stories we tell. Audiences today crave authentic and relatable stories that reflect their own experiences too. By opening up the playground to everyone, production companies and studios can tap into a wider audience base as people from all backgrounds can identify with diverse characters. So I guess when a non-actor is cast in what had been a white role at some point, the question shouldn't be, why do we have to change it? The real question should be, when you look at the history and the advantages that come along with doing so, is why shouldn't we? Hollywood is finally, after a century, starting to put away their agenda of exclusion, and we need to let them do it. It's about damn time. My name's John Campea. Thanks for checking this out, guys.
Oh, God. All right. All right, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm pretty upset listening to that. And I always just say, man, if you're that passionate about something, and in this homeboy's case where he yelled at his fans in a video, which is whack. Now he's, a tempered, giving facts to his argument. I just say put your money where your mouth is. I just think that's what it always comes down to. And for him to do this kind of like, I'm going to clip this. I'm definitely going to clip this video because I want more people to know. We're called the Latino slant for a reason. I'm very proud of what our collective cultures that happen to be under the Latino umbrella have given to the world. And I love our stories. We love to entertain and love to enlighten. I love to document and spotlight achievements by Latinos in pop culture. I think it's very important. I do it on the daily. I don't know what homeboy does on the daily. I don't know him personally. Don't want to know him personally. This is not a personal issue. This is about talking about things that I'm passionate about, that this channel's passionate about. And I think ultimately there is major problems still in Hollywood when it comes to people who have different backgrounds and talking about their stories in a fully fleshed, organic manner that they still have problems with because they want to hold the power. But it's got nothing to do with casting, with non-traditional casting of what white roles were. Ultimately, that is a very ignorant way to go about a very complex and heavy issue of race in film. It's lazy. It's short-sighted. What takes more work and what takes more heavy lifting is bringing new stories and new creators into the business and letting them have a chance to, yes, fail and then succeed, because you can't expect it to got to knock it out that first one, or else you're not going to have your 10 Latino projects. And when you hear those stories of Eva Longoria and them talking about we don't get that chance to fail, they're absolutely fucking right. But race swapping and all that shit, that's not the answer. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'll judge it on case by case, but listen, if I don't like this incarnation of iteration of blue, black, whatever, The Little Mermaid, it's going to be because it's ultimately it wasn't entertaining. It did not entertain me. So, and at the end of the day, man, this is brutal, right? With capitalism and the way business runs, but Hollywood doesn't know a shit. Got to take it. Got to make it. We got to make it. We got to make it happen. That's why I love that independent spirit. That's why I love that independent spirit of what Flaming Hot was able to achieve. So yeah, man. If you want to have a real talk, homeboy, bring me on your show. We'll have a talk. But there's no way in hell that guy's going to do that. But that's a reaction. I want to get to your comments, which is way more important to me. And we got some. Let's read those super chats first from my man. I think we got a couple. Yeah, we got a couple. Jonas for $2. Well, if Michael Mann said it, must be true. I give Michael Mann for kind of like getting better and better with characters, but even he's made some suspect choices with his characters, but yeah, preach on, hermano. Santinos, hola Venice. Jonas J. Campbell, $2. Camping reminds me of Squealer on Animal Farm. Whoa, oink, oink. Oh, Mo is back. We gotta give Mo a special credit or something, man, for being like this. Campea is using historical whitewashing to justify the same thing in a different direction. Also, I cannot stress this enough. Campea is boring as F. R&B was the best part of the show. I mean, I told those homeboys on Midnight's Edge, Chris Gore, Chato, y'all ain't getting why R&B was let go. I get it. And it's just, at the end of the day, got a lot to do with professional jealousy. Thank you, Mo. Thank you to these other homeboys. Let's take them off the star and let's play some thank you videos. This has been awesome. Here we go. Okay, Paulie back here on Latino Slant. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Like this stream, whether you're watching replay or live. And thank you all for being here. Going to read a couple more of these starred comments, and then we're going to get on out of here. Got a great core of you guys who's been hanging out. He snapped, Krusty Moko. Seth, they are convinced they need to say this stuff to hold these positions to the degree that guys like Neurotic feel they need to call out. I mean, you kind of make it too easy for guys like Gary to call this shit out. Contrast this with Moana and Lilo and Stitch casting controversies. Where's Campea's outrage at those color checking these actors? Cue crickets sound effect. Creaky, creaky, creaky. Good point. Society, what's up, brother? If it wasn't a big deal, they wouldn't be changing in the first place. Very, very. I cannot disagree with that. Camp is just signaling that he wants to toe the line with these studios. His goal is just access. Manolo, they treat minorities as interior decorators, use potted plants. I say I really like this plastic representation, right? So I can say we're piñatas to them. Canadian Broadcasting Company, mamadas. Blaming Hollywood is obfuscation. Ooh, I like that word. I can only hold individuals responsible for decisions. Nice, Mark N. What's happening? Good to see you here. This cat has a big case of white guilt. You think? Paulie seething internally. It was, man. It was. We're not a minority. Güero douchebaggery. Reminds me of Amy Pascal trying to push through woke projects, but due to Sony leaks, we know how racist she is privately. Yeah, still live that one down. And how is this different from political bigotry? Guys, great comments, guys. This typical woke also crap from John Campea. Truth lives. Movies, TV, video games, all media promotes a subjective worldview. They can't justify right and wrong. Therefore, the collapse is inevitable unless people return to a consistent paradigm. Oof. I got to take that one in. Give show. Hey. Give show to Paulie. You know what? How about give me your show for one day? I've got to admit, I like Miss Marvel as well. I liked it. But, that's different taste. It's like whatever. Okay, subscribe to Struggle Reviews TV. She's fantastic. I hear if it wasn't for Ike, there'd be no MC to make MCU. Mamadas. I noticed that all the arguments of wokeism boil down to the past was horrible, or it's 1939 all over again. I think the left hurts themselves because conservatives are more present. Oh, Seth. What is he arguing for? That blood runs in the streets of Hollywood, or that Jane Doe be allowed to star the third remake of Intellectual Property item? Yeah. I don't know, man. Then I advise Latinos to start competing against Hollywood and stop being reliant on Hollywood for visibility. I see the light, bro. You are not wrong. Cavitano, Calverman, Che, Paul. I feel so represented being an other. I mean, that's fucked up, man. Jesus. Other. Oof. Laszlo. Latino adjacent. It's okay for white guys like me to identify like that. Identify away. Jonas Campea lost the plot a long time ago. I guess so. Daniel T. LOL. He's giving excuses for places to not having original ideas. So it's really what it is. Pretty Fly for a White Guy was written about. Hey, Paulie. Thanks for taking the time to stream. You do a really great show. Thank you. Well, this is our big now once a week streaming. We're just going to be here around 2 to 3 hours every Monday afternoon. So, mark us on your calendar. Stanley would have just made new characters instead of doing hand-me-downs. He did that. He created new characters as times progressed. Absolutely. Yes, Hollywood, bring us original stories that represent us accurately. His heart is in his right place. At least give him that. What is that? Road to hell is paved in good intentions. Got to be careful, sound. I don't know if you're joking or not. You got to be careful with that shit. At least have a panel discussion about different people, different backgrounds, and not just different backgrounds, different thoughts. Like, have a good discussion. Stan literally said, "Make new characters." Yes, I missed that. Make new characters. Wow. Usually I will listen to YouTubes, but I'm enjoying. I will listen to YouTubes, but I'm enjoying Paulie watching frustrated reactions. Yeah, I mean, I normally don't do that. But it's like, wait a minute. You're doing a video on what? What is going on? It's so weird, right? The answer is not derivative of the original, but a new character, which includes unique cultural nuances. Yes, it can, Manola, when done right, when done by talented people. Campea has so many layers of cringe. What? It's only that just makes laundry day feel awkward. What Stanley said was not to recast Bruce Banner as a black man. He said to include, i.e., create a new character. Thank you, big guy. Can't wait for the Viking Palotero series. Oh, man, can you imagine? Raspas, quien quiere, raspas, ding, 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 and then bow down to my sword. His argument has no merit whatsoever. Lost 30 brain cells watching Campea. Sorry, Sanders. Sorry, Olaf. Pat Finch. I remember watching the 1939 movie Juarez a few years ago as it was aired on Cinco de Mayo. I would see a modern remake with a Latino cast. Yeah, some of those old movies where it's like, obviously, it's like very culture specific, but not really starring or whatever with white people. They were kind of good, but they're kind of weird. Yeah, redo those ones. Okay. But there's so many great stories. I don't mind a race swap if it's a better actor. I mind race swaps just for the swap, but it really looks like redheads getting swapped nonstop. I mean, it's really strange. So I don't know. Hey, Fletcher, can you find me the character in The Dragon that was original? Get me a photo. Campea's AMC days are far behind him. I don't think he realizes it. Hey, Vertical. I guess Campea hasn't been watching many foreign content. There is a whole lot of diverse stories and culture that Hollywood is not talking about. Omar Sharif, Egyptian Muslim actor, got his big break in Lawrence Arabia. Next thing. Now he's playing against type as the lead in Dr. Zhivago's and Barbara Streisand's Interest in Funny Girl. Also, too, with that movie, Anthony Quinn played an Arab as well. We got a new member. Hey, Seth, thank you, man. This is for you. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Seth. Really appreciate that. We are going to have a membership stream soon. There is a poll going on in our community tab. Make sure you guys vote on that. And I think I'm done. I'm kind of spent almost 3 hours. Woo! Gonna go touch some grass, get some sun on my face. Fletcher, what you got to say for yourself, man? And I guess he doesn't have much to say at all. Let's bring up the closing credits. And we'll get on out of here. This Wednesday, I am seeing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny with Chris Gore. I am seeing that. I will clip this. I will have also new videos for you guys as well. Thank you so much, Olaf, for doing that. What's up, man? Got any closing words?
Hey, I would like to say thank you to all the people who subscribed today. We had a few new subscribers.
Is that right?
And also, we had a lot of new subscribers today. So thank you to everybody who subscribed, and just make sure that you still subscribe to the channel. Also, when this stream is over, if you could leave a comment on it, it really helps with our algorithm, and please share it in Twitter, Instagram, and all those other fun places.
Yeah, I do want to say that we have had a nice bump in the last 48 hours or so, and to where a lot, I guess, because of my coverage on the Flash in the last, I'd say, let's go back 48 hours. We've, yeah, like a few hundred of you new guys. So thank you so much, and we've had a great crowd here hanging out with me this whole time. Oh man, look, I mean, that's gonna be crazy, bro. I'll be with Chris Gore, Dante, Verbal Riot, watching.
Awesome crowd.
Yeah. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Jaime, good to see you. Lord Thoth, good to see you. All right, my friend Fletcher. Make sure you say goodbye. We're gonna end this stream. Adios. We'll see you. Thank you so much.